Yo, I lost the song that I was going to play. I'll play this song instead. Hello, hello. Hi, Princess. Happy late birthday. I don't know if Useless Huntress is here, but happy late birthday to you as well. Thank you for the head pats. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you know this week isn't Thanksgiving, it's next weekend? I bought all this Thanksgiving stuff. I have all this Thanksgiving stuff that I was going to do stuff with. And guess what? All the stuff that, that was, wow. Whew. Oh boy. My brain just went, no, you're gone. You don't exist anymore. So, yeah. I have an idea, actually. I have an idea. We're going to try something. Do do do. Do 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 do. Where's the other option? Oh, never mind. I'm not going to try to figure out right now. I want y'all to be able to hear me getting hit in the face, but you know what? I've decided against it. Y'all don't need to hear me getting hit in the back, the back, in the face. Anyways, hello, 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 hello. This is Divine CEO. Lovely song. It is by Lulu Yam. I love them. They're fantastic. But also, yes, lovelies, lovelies, lovelies. How is everybody doing today? This week is going to be amazing. This week is going to be amazing. I've decided, starting today, the rest of this week, amazing. And you know what today has been? It's been great. I got a bunch of work done at work. I figured out a way to make myself work better. I drove home and there was so little traffic. I got myself a little McDonald's burger because I deserved it. I have a lovely little monster here. And yeah, I even had a salad today. So today's going to be good. Oh, see, look, everybody else is doing good too. And so I'm going to start something, okay? I don't know where I got this from, but I have this little deck of cards that says Gratitude Challenge, okay? And so, not a Big Mac. We're going to do a little gratitude challenge, okay, lovelies? So the first card in the deck is the Habit Challenge, okay? We all have habits, simple ones like brushing our teeth or meaningful ones like daily prayer, meditation, or whatever. What's a habit that you're grateful to have, and how does it help you? So, lovelies, what is a habit that you have that you actually enjoy and that's helpful for you? Me? Streaming. Streaming has been amazing. I've loved it so much. Chubb, you read all the time? Oh, I love that. Anybody else got some fun habits? Day's only going to get better. Reading. Wait, how many of you read? Insomnia is not a habit that you should be proud of. I have ADHD too. You force a habit until it happens. It's hard, but it works. Drawing, reading, gaming, Walking is good. Watching my stream is, I can't believe you're the first person to say watching my stream. Roomba cleaning. Neeks, you remind me of my dad right now. He cleans the Roomba like every week. And it was just like, I had a Roomba for a while. I don't know if I ever cleaned that thing. I clean that thing maybe once a month. Working out? Ooh, working out's a good one. I'm new, so being here can't be a habit yet. It'll get there. Bullying Gene is not a habit. That is a hobby. Making your bed. Making bed is good. Editing post. Oh, speaking of, I saw the cutest thing today. Oh, I saw the most adorable thing a little voidling did today. I was going through and, I like scrolling through my people who follow me, and I clicked one person because, they had the emotes, and I saw myself on their page, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It was like a repost, and I clicked it, and no, they took one of my TikToks and put in like they would pause the TikTok and then put a little text response to whatever I said. And it was super cute. It's the one where y'all, I take you outside and you go run away. And it was adorable. So I never knew I liked that. I thought that was really cute. So if anybody ever wants to do something like that, just letting you know, then I appreciate it. Thank you for the subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Anyways, first I like writing my characters in pain. Wolfie. Therapy. Okay, we're gonna do our classic things. You know our things, right? Checking in with all the check-ins, reading out all of the things, and of course, congratulating first, second, and third who got it in the right order this time. Woo! Can I get a round of applause for first, second, and third for counting in the right direction this time? We don't have any claps. Drink water. Drink water. I drank a lot of water today. Keep drinking water. Clap. There's no clap. I wish there was. But clap. There you go. There you go. There's some claps. Proud of you. Proud of you. Proud of you. All right. Congratulations, Silvervang, for getting first. Congratulations, Talissima, for getting second. And thank you, Julia, for getting third. Man, I could use some grippy socks. I've never been to a grippy socks vacation, surprisingly. Don't judge me. All right, we have, and now we're going to do our check-ins. So hello to everybody who checked in. Hello, Silvervang, thank you for checking in. Hello, Talissima. Hello, Carmia and Echo and Yoshihiko and Sho. Hello, Gangsta Neeks and Pebbles and Poppy Sprout. Hello, Ma23. I'm guessing it's Marie. Hello, Lachlan. Hello, Sunny the Sunshine. Hello, Julia, Silas, and Eli. Hello, Ghostly Nightlight. Hello, Useless Huntress. Oh, there you are. Hello, Onyx the Shadow Wolf. And Wolfie say hello, Tequila and Amelia. Hello, Full Metal Brook. Hello, Chubb. Hello, Little Mouse. Hello, Galaxy. What do you mean we're at a hype train? What do you mean a hype train? I'm sick. I guess I'll keep reading these. Thank you for the hype train. Hello, Galaxy. Thank you for checking in. Hello, Optical Panda. Hello, Galactic Gur. Hello, Nuggets and Elena. Hello, Zenix and Catalyst. And hello, Meow Kitty Cat. And hello, Neffy. Hello, Tasha. And hello, Kiana. And hello, Pandragon. But still, seriously, y'all, thanks for all for the gifts. Hello, Discorded Fox and Kira and Mia. Hello, Clovactic System. Hello, Snowborn and Loki and Gibbons. Hello, Kitty. And hello, Vanya. Hello, Red Faye. Hello, Kira. Hello, Princess. Hello, Lucy. Hello, Silverfang. Oh, that's a headpants. Hello, Beta Wolf. Hello, Ocean. Hello, Ghost Siren. Hello, Red Faye. Thank you for chucking, I guess. Hello, Dea or Death. Hello, My Chemical. Hello, Luck. Hello, Alien Woes and Highland Moo. Ow. Hello, Teddy Bear. Hello, thank you for the strats. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for gifting a sub to Gibbets, Princess. And where were we? Hello, Blitz. Hello, Horror. Hello, Welshie, the Badger Queen. Hello, Kamikaze. And hello, Wolfie. Says thank you for the stretch. We got it. I know. Dea. I got you. Or is it Dia? Do you want me to call you Dia instead or Dea? Boom, 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 boom. Thank you for the hydrate. Cheers. And hello, Unstable Raccoon. Raccoon, hopefully one day we'll figure out how to stabilize you. And hello, M31 Andromeda Galaxy. So, today, we're going to be playing the lovely... I'm such a good doggy. I'm sorry, Wolfie. It's hard for me to read sometimes. But yes, so... And hello, PBJ, and hello, Ruby. You know, we'll keep reading these until we get closer to the actual game we're going to be playing. We're going to be doing Dispatch. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Ow. Oh, heck, we hit level 3. What the heck? Thank you, Princess. I want to see how far we can get in Dispatch. Maybe we can finish it today. Maybe not. I know that there's more stuff going on, and I've seen slight spoilers. Hey! Thank you for the gifted. Thank you. Oh, I'm getting a call. 1 second. Oh, shoot, what is this? Oh, my sister's calling. 1 sec.
Gene, did you see the cursed Furbies I shared?
It was not my original plan, you know. So, hello. Oh, hi, chat.
All right, sorry about that, y'all. Sister needed to call me real quick, so she is adorable. But yeah, she just needed to talk to me about something real quick. So I apologize that we just stopped stream all of a sudden. She's going to work. She lives in Japan, by the way, so she's like just woken up and going to work. She forgets this is when I stream. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. She's like moving to some place real quick, so she's like hitting me up to be like, "Hey, just in case I need, like, if you want to help me out a little bit, like, whatever." I'm like, I'll see what I can do, sweetie. Just like let me know closer when you're moving to your new apartment. And I'll do what I can do. Anyways, I'm proud of all of you. You did amazing. Yes. Sorry about that, though. I do appreciate y'all being very patient with me. 35% off of 5+ gift subs. Wait, do we get discounted subs? Save 35% on 5 or more gift subs exclusively during this train. All aboard. Oh, if you give 5 subs, you get 35% off. That's crazy. I didn't know it was a thing. Cool, 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 cool. All right. So, dispatch. We all good? We all ready? I didn't know a treasure train was a thing. I'm such a good doggy. There you go. Ooh. Well, thank you all. Thank you all. I do appreciate that. Oh, apparently I need to update this match. Thank you for the lurks. Give me a second. Ooh, well, thank you so much for the redeem. This is so funny. I already did the good doggy. I did it when it came up. I have a thing in my head reading off all of the alerts to me, by the way. You said your name's Dea for the 7th time. I read it. I read it out loud. Y'all don't listen to me when I talk. I also read Wolfie, and Wolfie says, hi, darlings, is their name. Fine, I'll say it again. I'm such a good doggy. Yes. Thank you for the bits. They give gifted subs. Thank you. Yes. So you know the AI voice, not the AI voice. You know the robot voice from computers. Sorry, you know the robot voice from like Microsoft? I have it reading off all of the alerts except check-ins. So every once in a while, it will read me off something. Also, Dea, did you check to make sure that the sound was turned up? Like, are you listening to me on the computer? You might have sound turned down for the specific browser. Okay. Let's see if we're done. Let's see if it's updated yet. All right, let's play dispatch. Thank you for the follow. Hello, Shen Huli. How are you doing? Welcome. And thank you for the mug. Oh, right, sorry. I read it earlier and I heard it. I'm like, I'm going to do this. All right. So I got this one for you. This is just for you, you lovely peoples. By the way, by Saturday, I have to have the British voice done, or we're just going to go with it randomly, okay? It's going to be awful. So, yes. Okay, wait, did somebody redeem Cage? Oh, wait, do you all want to go to... Fine. I'll put you all in the Cage, okay? Give me a second here. It's going to take me a little bit to load it in. Settings file open. So it is. No, you're going into the Cage. You're going into the Cage. Lucy, you're not leaving yet. Come here. This is important. All of you, you know where you're going. This is important. I lost me. Hello, there I am. Hello. No, I'm sorry. You know what time it is. It's time to be enclosed. There you are. Good you. Proud of you. All right, very. I want a hug. I can always give a hug. Yes. Why are we in the cage again? Wait, are there people here who don't know why you're in the cage? Is there somebody, do some of you not know about why there's the cage? No, there's an actual reason for the cage. Have I not explained it? Okay, so here's the idea. So there's 2 reasons. I can tell you the lore reasons, and I can tell you the actual reasons. 2 things. Thank you for the lurk, Vanya. Mwah. Okay, so the number 1 reason, like the reason why I'm actually doing it in the first place, is because I watched. I was watching. I have to do the normal voice here a little bit. Okay, so back in the day, not too far back, but we were chilling out, and I raided into Cottontail. And when I raided into Cottontail, Cottontail had this whole bit where she put on a different outfit. She did this character voice, and she does this whole thing where she's like, "Oh, I got to check to see if you're a zombie or something," and then she has a bat. Hey, thank you for the hollow bugs, Clover. And if she's like bonking you to see if you're a zombie, because apparently if it hits you in the head, you'll whatever. There wasn't really a good reason for it, but it was cool, okay? And so I DM'd her saying, "Hey, I like your bit. Can I steal, like, can I do something inspired by your bit?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure. Just like, show it to me before you like do it." And so that's when I came up with the first idea of doing the jail bit when we get raided, where I can lock people in a cell and stuff. But the idea is I'm keeping people captive so I have more viewers, so that when Twitch comes here and asks me, "Hey, do you have enough viewers for partnership?" I will, because you'll all be locked in my basement. And I'll have proof. Hello, Bugs Clover. Hello, hello, and welcome to the follow. Welcome to the follow. Welcome to the menagerie. Thank you for the follow. But yes, and I also did show Cottontail the video, and she was super excited about it. Like, she liked it a lot and liked my mic and everything, like my audio setup. I constantly get complimented on how crisp my audio setup is, and it still has flaws. You just don't notice it because I'm too amazing. So yes. Until I hit the day where we hit partner, I'll have to keep you all in the cell forever. Thank you. His ego's growing again. No. People like my mic setup. I have a good mic setup. She didn't compliment my voice. She complimented more the mic setup. All right. We're playing more. I mean, it's a good thing you don't mind being, you know, locked up.
Maybe he's got an iron stomach.
I'm sorry, but this beta wolf is not a cage person, so bad cutie bad. Also, I can't chat since I'm kind of new account. But how dare Hellraiser doesn't be car?
Lose like 700 pounds?
First off, you're either
That's funny.
at math or you think I'm like 300 pounds. I am not.
I mean, no.
I go to the gym and I work.
I'm gonna keep you afterwards too. Don't get me wrong.
We're going around on which
But,
superhero
yeah.
you used to be. Person who gets it right wins $936.
That's a real specific number.
And that
Yes.
specific number could be ours. Just one hint.
I love her.
We're friends, right? Make your friends some money.
I'm double jointed.
Double jointed.
Flipping your eyelids inside out.
I wish. Love to be able to do.
Did he just snap his finger? What was that? Also, Beta Wolf. That was actually very clever. And no worries. Did you see that? What the heck? If we stop watering him, he turns into one of those wall-mounted singing basses. I do, actually. I'll go.
I want to be locked in the cage since it means I don't have to pay rent. And
You do
loyalty
get
means I
food.
get treats.
You do get food, you do get treats, and you do get taken care of to an extent. It is small, but, you know.
Oh, come on, don't be like that.
Sorry, you're just gonna have to earn your $936 in some other way. What could that be? I'll let you know if I work it out. Get it? I'm explaining the joke. What the fuck?
Decent reflexes.
Hey, me, no.
Which heroes do we know that talk too much and have quick reflexes?
Clean this shit up.
Hey, losing all that weight don't make you better than us. Yeah.
If case you haven't heard this recently, I'm proud of you. The community you're building is so kind and welcoming. I'm so glad I discovered your side.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Fine, I'll stretch. Also, what is the food in the cage? Depends on the day. Currently, actually, we should do another. Do y'all remember the car? Did y'all enjoy the car ride stream? Should we do another car ride sometime? Maybe we can go order some more food. We'll go through some more drive-thrus and commit more crimes.
Chill out, Dad. I never had a dad.
I know.
No.
Fuck, that's supposed to be.
Only one time you didn't have a dad.
No cheese? Some people can have cheese. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer.
We were bound to bother them at some point.
Watch yourself. You poke the hive, you're gonna have to fuck the queen.
That's not how bees work.
You know what I mean.
I don't, actually. No one's
Food
trying
and
to
water,
fuck Shroud.
sunlight on the
But
weekends.
if we kill the queen, we rot the hive.
That's all you need.
You would do that. Kill Shroud. You might get the chance. And you don't want to go in there having to think about it.
Heroes don't kill people. Hey, what are you doing? Stop sucking on my face. Who sucked on my face? Tequila.
Mecha Man's coming back to life one patch at a time.
One patch at a time.
I mean, Roy's doing most of the work.
Hey, Neeks, I'm sorry. What? Oh, what crashed? Something just crashed. Give me a second. Not that. Not that. Not that. What crashed? Something crashed. Oh, speaker bot crashed. 1 second. DUI, now how about you die? I'll drive 100 miles an hour. Little did you know I filled up on gas. I'm a get that found making ass. Pulverize this fuck with my Birkin truck. I'm running out of luck. Oh, you're running out of luck. Truck! Do I gotta be subscribed to be able to send Kirby? No. Kirby costs money. It's down below on the bottom left. Okay, sorry, we're back. Gene, don't interrupt my... Pebbles. Neeks. Behave yourselves. Behave yourselves. Mine. Bunny. Neeks. Neeks, be a good bun.
Though, right?
So much. He's probably gonna redo all this shit.
Oh, how's the volume? Shoot, I didn't even check. Might be lovely, so let's see how the volume is. Oh, we're good.
Evening,
Oh, I've
folks.
always had a
Welcome
clicker.
back.
We got a few guesses at your identity. Leading one right now is Balls.
Let me guess. His power is not.
I don't like using the clicker, but if people are not giving me the attention I need, I will click.
Great. It's gonna be a long shift.
Oh, right. I forgot how to play this game. Okay, Mr. Cat is out here alone, so scared, so hungry. Please find my baby. Escape artist and very fast. He hates most people. So who's the fastest girl who can talk? Do we not have a fast talker? Oh, shoot. Why am I'm going to put like a lot on this. Because for some reason I feel like we need to save this cat. So, yeah. Go get this cat. I believe in you. I'm still on the porch, by the way. It's raining like a garden hose out here. Come on. Oh.
Fuck. Did we just lose power?
What the heck?
Sure did. Citywide. Hang tight. We're booting up the backup generator.
Wait, stuff is happening. I forgot how cool this game was.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I'm getting really excited.
Shit.
Oh, y'all can't see? I'm a human nightlight. I don't got those problems.
Yeah, it's just a little dark.
Mm.
Big deal.
You never closed your eyes before?
Alright, fuck you guys.
The whole city's out. Guys, this is an all hands on deck situation. Okay.
Got it.
I'm gonna get the grid back up and running. Be ready because shit's gonna be insane the minute the lights turn back on.
Some real action? Thank fuck.
Okay. So I think we want to keep her in the bottom trios here, yeah? Maybe throw some charisma. No. If we put... Okay. Last time the issue we ran into was trying to mix two parties because we couldn't go over a certain level, right? Right? I locked you outside? Oh! My bad. So I need to give her more mobility. That way we can throw them when they need it. Oh, crap. Okay. Here we go. I actually really want... Do y'all want to do let's do a cookout. We're going to do a cookout, everybody. Y'all are coming with me. We're going to go do a cookout. Okay, guide the energy. Yeah. It's been a while since I've done a cookout. There it goes. Soaking the rays, exactly. Y'all need some good rays, right? You're making wongs. What are wongs? Two wongs don't make a right. Ha ha ha. Okay, wait, what am I doing? Don't forget the sunscreen. Yes, you should always wear sunscreen. Always wear sunscreen. You hear me? But 3 rights make a left. What is that from? I remember hearing that before. You want skin cancer? You don't. My grandfather has that really bad right now. He might not survive. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like that his dad says. His dad says that. Oh, crap.
Soccer fans are not a fan of this blackout. Shit's getting scary.
Okay, calm the angry soccer fans. Okay, we have to have them be stupid. This is great.
Size don't matter. Vandals are defacing the Torrance Library mural. Hurry and catch them.
Oh,
before
okay.
there are Peens everywhere.
Go for it, Waterboy. I believe in you.
I'm looting the Ralphs. You want anything?
Oh, you always did look hotter in the dock.
Say boo.
Golem, you're a genius.
Wong or not, I'm all white. There you go. She really gonna go loot someplace?
Situation at Band Labs. They told me to call SDN. I'm just an intern.
Ooh, shoot.
I'm here to hustle.
Okay, that one's not gonna work. All right, and quickly before stabilizing serum. I think that's the best we can do.
I can see in the dark anyway, so this is like perfect for me.
Oh, fine. I'll get the mug. Give me a sec. Give me. There you go. You happy? We're lifting mugs. Make fun of me? Yeah, I will make fun of you.
I'm heading downtown.
You're goofy.
Some help. Feel free to send someone.
You just. I got bonked. I believe in you, Squirt Boy. Yeah, Squirt Boy. Let's get it, Water Gun.
Nope, no peens. The penises, graffiti, gone.
Okay. Him, I think we can do. Do I want to give him a little charisma? Ow! Wait, let's give him a little bit more mobility right now. I don't think we have many charismas, do we? Mobility. I'm glad you really. My evening streams make your night. Thank you for the alert, gay frogs. Oh. Make him fast like a water slide. You got it. Just for you, sweetie.
Hi, it's me again. You're not gonna believe this, but now there's some scary dudes with scary weapons. I'm quitting after this, man. I can't do this.
Thank you, though. Actually, like.
Tell them I'm a shooting star. That'll be hilarious.
Y'all are lovely. I hope you know that. Yeah, we got it.
Oh, I'ma stay winning.
Okay, I have only the one sibling. I'm breathtaking. I'll take your breath. Haha. Don't see what that means, because I don't know. Okay. I love these puzzles. I'll be so for real. I'm loving these puzzles. Call Gene asthma. Because he's taking. Oh. Alright, well. Give me 1 second while I call him asthma because he got that asthma. Up, left, right. Go, cool. Up, left, right. Up, left, right. Woo! Whose makes food in bulk?
We've got several lootings in progress, and our guys are getting overwhelmed. Looting? That's so basic. Bitches out here wearing ski masks and robbing banks. Where's the originality?
All right, apprehended.
It's like the go-to black hat activity.
And besides burning all those shitty candles your aunties gave you.
Apprehend and evacuate. Right. Okay, brain. Y'all, how do I get in on a game like this? Fight the red ring, consume the serum. We're gonna fight them. Like, what do I have to do?
Fuck these guys up.
To have somebody like reach out to me about a game like this. Have you heard about this, by the way? Like how this happened? Like all these guys were approached by the creators of this game, and none of them thought it was real. They all thought it was like a scam, which is hilarious to me. Okay, we're gonna see if we can break into this one. Ooh, shoot. Okay, who can I wake up real quick? I need somebody. Who's the best person I have? Can I? Oh. Shoot.
Beautiful.
Okay, we're gonna do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click. Yes.
Guess what?
That should do it. Evacuating we're gonna suck at, but we should definitely be able to apprehend them.
Okay, so this is why my stock portfolio got fucked up. Can I at least eat the guys responsible?
My brain just shut
Do this
off.
shit first, then we'll talk.
You're telling me I gotta swear more? Should I swear more? I got this, chat. I can swear. You ready? Here we go. Just kidding. We're not gonna. I spent so much time trying to swear less. Hello, Yuri, by the way. When a call is about to expire, Prism creates an illusion that keeps the call up for a few more seconds. This happens once per shift. Ooh. I forgot about that. Super honey iced tea. Yeah, exactly. Super honey iced tea. Sweet honeyed iced tea. Mwah. Is Gene a cat? I'm not a cat. You'll never guess what I am. I'm Batman. Well, I didn't know there was a secret scenario thing. What do you mean? I needed to be smarter?
That works.
No.
My daughter was at the beach with her friends, and I haven't heard from her. I'm really worried.
All right, let's send people out on here. Locate.
My pleasure. Ma'am? Okay, you have to stop calling me that.
They got this. I believe in them.
Oh, spooky.
The city does need me. Oh no, I sent everybody out. There we go.
We're sandwiched here. I can't feel my foot.
There we are. Easy. Thank you for the head pats. Thank you. Look at us nailing it. We together are nailing it.
Half bat, all freak.
Half man, half bat, all freak. That's what you want to hear. That's exactly what you want to hear.
Those menaces are ready to get their e-bikes and fireworks.
Convince them. Oh, she sucks at convincing. You're gonna have to wait. You better hope we get somebody who can convince somebody, because the person I would send out are gonna make things a lot worse. Search the water. Search the pier. Search the beach. Shove them through a portal. Heck yeah! Easy. Easy.
They were high?
Yeah. Teens get high sometimes. Didn't you?
Rough. There you go. Ruff. Happy.
I haven't really ever been high before.
I never recommend this to anyone, but I think you specifically should try getting high.
Ooh, that sounds hard. That one sounds hard. Okay. We're gonna do... Ooh, here we go. You ready? Oh, please make me some dinner. Can you say it's literally why you have no channel points? Fair enough. Oh. Ooh, whoop. Let's grab this one. And doop boop 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 boop. Yeah. All right. We'll grab the lightning. Grab it. Pull it down. Wait, just wait till what I make you say from Venus next time you wear the maid dress. What does Venus want me to say? Wait, what is Venus trying to have me say? Okay, I need that. Oh, are we just done? Oh, we're done. Yay. It is satisfying. This is so nice. Enjoy stabbing people. Okay. Convince them to surrender their illegal fireworks. Ooh, this is gonna be rough.
New me? Fucking rocks.
Yeah, hopefully this works. I think we're barely making that.
I've lost contact with the tower, and it's pitch black out here. I cannot land this thing. Help?
Nice.
You're my VIP.
Shit. You're mine too.
Aww! I just see that you hear them. They're so adorable. You're my VIP. You're my VIP too. Oh, who allowed them to be cute? Oh God.
I know this sounds crazy, but can you guys catch this thing in the air?
Okay. Y'all, I'm screwed. We have one flying hero. Oh, I guess Flambe can fly, can't he? Okay, wait. Come on, Flambe. Come on, Flambar. No. Wait. Do I not have anybody who can save this plane? Do I have nobody who can save this plane? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. It's just gonna...
You can catch the plane on the ground. Sounds dangerous, but I think you guys can handle it.
Okay. Okay, I think we can figure something out here. If we throw you on board, we can pull you out.
Love a symmetrical stage picture.
No. How about shoot. I think if we can hit, yeah, strength, vigor, that should be all we need, right? So strength, a bunch of strong guys. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. What the heck are we doing? Okay. So currently what we're doing is we're trying to reassure the residents all is well, be prepared to provide medical assistance, go to door and see your community. Okay. Currently what we're doing is we're trying to, thank you for the hydrate. We're trying to, teach villains to do good. These are ex-villains that we're trying to, like, you know, hype up to do well.
And she hasn't answered her phone since the blackout.
Sorry, my brain is completely dead right now while I'm trying to figure all this out. Oh shoot, all my charisma people are gone. Okay.
Time to go.
This might work.
So, any weekend plans?
Yes.
Cool. No follow-up questions for me.
Come on, come on, rest up, faster, rest up faster. Okay. He's too strong.
Cool.
I wish you luck, baby girl.
Anything can happen in a blackout. Mostly, like, bad shit, though.
Oh, jeez. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on.
My baby brother ate my mommy and daddy.
Oh, what do you mean you're waiting? Stop waiting!
I'm the guy. Damn it. The Red Ring's stealing shipments right off the train. We're not equipped to stop them.
I'm an idiot. I forgot to finish this. Hey!
Solid.
So, do I get a raise now?
Okay.
Everybody should step back.
So now I can send these guys out. We need high speed. What do we have? Can you all maybe have a higher speed stat? No? Oh shoot. What's going on down here?
Fuck I look like Rudolph the reindeer.
Yo.
Those passengers are so fucking lucky they got to see that.
Hey! Okay. Alright, we're just gonna defeat them. We don't need any speed.
Damn, I think this shift gave me carpal tunnel.
Would have guessed years of cranking it would get you there first.
Combo type deal.
Alright. Girly, I'm keeping you on everything. 6 older siblings who cannot cook. Towns, world. How would you have 6 siblings and they can't cook? How would you have 6 siblings that all can't cook? What is going on in the family in that situation? Alright, sleep well, sleep well, sleep well. I believe in you.
Wow, I mean, I'm not surprised.
No, you know what? I need to be talking more. Okay, you know what? Conversation topics. Tarot. Who here believes in tarot? Who likes tarot? Anybody? Me? Just me? I love tarot. I don't even know if I believe in tarot. It's just so much fun to do. Right? Oh yeah, no, I love tarot. And I just like all like the stuff it has on with it. I have a tarot deck. I just haven't pulled it out in a while. Which I probably need to do at some point again. I was doing tarot readings for a while. At the beginning of like streams, I'd have like a 1-card draw. But yeah. Haven't done that for a bit. Might do it again. No. Yeah! But I do need a new tarot deck. So my deck was gifted, and like that's my, at least my rule. It's not everybody's rule, but my rule is that I do need to... Oh, come on.
Come on, stay focused.
Parents lost?
If you're trying to impress me, it's working.
The parents are gone. I did put it on. I put one on my throne, but any tarot deck would be nice. All right. I don't care what we get. We're giving it to Waterboy. Waterboy needs to catch up, sweeties. Oof. You know, actually, I don't think Waterboy needs that. But we have nobody with maxed out, so we're gonna give him that. But wait, how do you have that many people? Hello, welcome to being new. How do you have that many people who can't cook? Really? Like you'd think at least a few of them would learn how to cook.
I love tarot cards, cutie. I have at least 2. One I never used since my ex-girlfriend gave it to me for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Sardines of Villain Bar, not sure.
I just need to check to see if I have enough tarot cards in my deck, 'cause I think I might have lost a card somewhere during my move. You know, we'll check after stream. If I have all the cards in the deck, I'll start doing readings again.
Yeah. All right.
They're fun. They're goofy. What's up, Karamia? Oh, and Neeks. Don't lose cards. I probably did.
Sound like a fart on a car seat. And I could read your mind. Wanna fall in love and eat pizza all the time.
Why are you out here?
Oh, I'm just saying, any deck.
You want a drink?
Sure.
You want 2?
Sure.
I love this. I love them. I love him. I love all of them. They're all so great.
Creep.
I don't know you. And
That's
I
fair.
don't like not knowing people.
Well, you won't like knowing him. He's the biggest perv west of the LA River. And he's with us.
Well, if anybody needs to learn how to cook, let me know.
Joking. I'm
not my business. But if you do go jerking off,
Enjoy.
you make it my business.
That's I don't want to be.
Well, he's gonna laser point at your dick? I mean, jeez, I would also be scared. Oh, he looks cool. He looks cool. He looks cool. All the characters look so great in this game. Look, who's that? Who's this man's? Girl is getting ignored.
Buy me a drink.
Is this for all the strings you had to pull to get me in here?
You got me Sour Patch Kids on our first date. I figure whiskey makes sense for the second. Third date, you can buy me dinner. Nothing too filling, though.
You can just be friends.
This doesn't have to be a thing. We can just be friends.
Nah, because I don't like fucking people I'm friends with, Robert. Really complicated.
What?
things. Sometimes I don't want to know what someone had for lunch when I'm fingering their asshole.
I just want. They set toaster fire.
Offer me casual sex?
Catch on quick. I'll grab us a table.
I don't want to have sex with her. Is there an option where we don't have sex with somebody?
Make it 3. 4.
Make it 5.
5 fancy whiskeys? No. 9 shitty whiskeys.
Good lad. We should have invited him earlier.
Fucking no. He never said that. He said he reminded me of my ex, and he's got buzzkill ass energy.
I am a narc.
I am a narc. You messed up.
Nope, Narc wouldn't say that. Unless he said that. He knew you would say a Narc wouldn't say that. Oh, some Uno reversal type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers. Excuse me.
Kiss him. Sorry. I'm sorry. I keep seeing everybody. I'm just like, we should probably kiss them.
When you have a moment,
take one of these.
To what do I owe this?
He's gonna drop it.
Sir?
You're good. Have fun.
I'm short.
Dude, be honest.
Why is he so short?
Am I gonna fool myself if I sing Whitney Houston?
Are you Whitney Houston?
No.
Then you're gonna make a fool of yourself. Real Gene, cuz I know, right?
Drink for you.
Wait, it's kind of hard for me, but look, I know it was probably a by the books, bottom line kind of decision, but thanks.
You can't have that outside.
Oh, he's a good boss, okay? Is that dude a literal zombie? I guess he's a normal guy. He's just like a normal dude.
Everyone thinks I'm.
But it feels weird.
They can still smell the hero on you. You're the enemy.
He's cool.
Drinks. What else do they want?
You can buy them drinks. You can make sure they don't get fired. You can line them up and blow them one by one, but they're still gonna think you might.
Chat, we're blowing them one by. I mean, no, we're not gonna do that.
About much when I blow 'em. But I hear what you're saying. Though I'd argue they fucked up their own lives being criminals.
See that smart shit?
Yeah.
Just tell 'em
God,
who
do you know how many people I knew who had asthma who smoked regularly? I mean, the amount of girls. Actually, you know what? People, the more people I see smoke have asthma than I've seen don't. It is labeled LGBT. Yeah, when am I gonna bang a dude? Where is my dude option? I haven't banged a single dude yet. It's always been this girl and that girl. Give me options. I have several dudes I could bang. We demand the Rainbow Mafia. That all you got?
Disappointing.
Rainbow Mafia, Rainbow Mafia, Rainbow Mafia. Commit crimes. Be gay, do crime. I believe in you. Any male relationship in this game would be better right now. Going off of like the vibes. So first off, we have young protege, or we have HR violation are our two options so far. Somebody who feels like a child who hasn't matured enough, or somebody who is clearly in a position where they shouldn't be banging anybody because they clearly need to work on themselves. You know who would not be problematic? Flambe. Oh, you both have like you're both fully grown metrosexual men who've been doing like workouts and shit together, and you have some tension there. You can work out the tension perfectly. Amazing. He would work. Waterboy. Yeah, that one's kind of iffy. The freaking bat. The bat would be fine. Jacksepticeye would be fine. Like most of these are totally fine. I guess Prism is also fine, but like the two that they pick are the two that are like the worst off mentally. What is with us having to have broken female love interests? Give me the dudes or give me the other ladies. They need therapy. You should buy more dice. Don't get me wrong. Like, Waterboy's cute and all. I totally go after him, but like, he needs to become...
I'm a bitch. My name's Robert. Such a bitch whose name is Robert. I'm a bitch. I'm a bitch. I'm such a fucking bitch. And it doesn't even function anyway. Because I never got his function. Except for me as I am.
I thought he lost to working in a deli or something.
There was this incident in crypto where he was
I'm a bitch, mine is Robert.
Which somehow makes less sense than what you just said. So you can see
That's amazing.
Why I'm worried about getting incinerated.
We all pay for who we used to be. The sooner you get it over with, the sooner we get a fresh start.
You heard me when I said incinerated.
He's singing the actual lyrics back there.
Bitch of a hero into our supervillain bar.
Wait, he got baby arms. Who gave him baby arms?
Do I look like a bitch? Don't answer that. Fuck. Is he big? He's got big guy voice.
Some parts of him are.
From now on, team drinks are exclusively at Chili's.
Are you lost or something, bitch? Or you trying to get fucked up? The bars around here, fool. Why'd you pick this one? You got a death wish, homie?
Baby
Hey,
arms.
bud, let me buy you.
No one's talking to you, fucking.
He smacked me.
Maybe some arms that can reach your dick.
There's some people that want to talk to you, Invisible bitch.
All right, here we go. You ready, baby girl? Time to jack them up. Or we're dead. Oh no. Do you notice all of them are glowing red?
Here. Try this.
Thanks.
What happened?
Is the can I Spence reporting?
Thank you for the hydrate.
Expensible. Can I get my money back? Paid, please.
Oh, I wanna go out.
I ordered 3 triple crunch tacos.
Do y'all wanna? Thank you for the headbands. Who stabs darts in somebody's face? What the heck? That is every childhood nightmare. Let's keep watching. What do you mean temporarily? Bitch, you blind forever. Is there? Wait. What's? 1 second. What's it say? Is there a way we don't have sex with anyone? Also, Gene, where are the dudes I can bang? Hey. Look, you're right, but hey.
Just eat that. It's the same shit anyway. Literally everything at this place is just a remix of the same 5 ingredients. Hot sauce? You drunk or concussed?
I'd go with both. Or do some friendly fire.
Here we go. You ready? Why is it every time we come back to this, he's ripping somebody to pieces? That was even worse. He pulled her eye out. She screamed. She's just dancing. Depressed. Oh my gonads! He's only punching dicks.
You wash your hands after touching all them filthy nutsacks?
Salty seems salty.
There she is. Thanks, babes. Sauce it up for me and everything. I think you're looking for these.
I thought they tasted salty. I don't want to see what's next. What did we bite? Oh, here we go. I don't want to see what I bit. Oh, it's a thumb. That's okay. He's doing coke. Here we go. Ooh, thank you so much for the waiting. Ooh, gosh, she is caked up. Sorry. He was so excited.
Both arms? Y'all are fucked up.
The thing is how easy it was. This churro was as soft as his noodle arms.
Maybe give us a heads up next time you want to start a fight. I want to know.
These hoes
You're
depressed.
heroes
I take my meds.
You finish them.
Well, not many finished fights against the Red Ring.
Yeah, how do you have beef with them, Mr. Dispatcher?
Yeah, we know this Robert guy is a fraud.
Oh!
Who are you? Really?
It's a rare thing in life. You know, a fresh start, clean slate. You all know. Every room you walk into, your reputation precedes. I walked into SDN and suddenly I was me. You know, just me. We have the chance to leave the past behind. I don't care who you were 5 years ago, 2 months ago, yesterday. I care about who you are right now.
I love him.
Right now.
Can I make out with him? I'll be his option. He doesn't need to date all these.
You all buying this bullshit? He's scared. It's a mind game. A freaking tactic. Who are you?
I just told you. You're the heroes now.
Yeah, I'm banging Robert. Sorry, what?
It's not enough, man. What's...
Are you telling me I remind you of Robert? No, wait a second. No, we're gonna have this conversation real quick. I remind you of Robert? Are we sure about that? No, because I just said I want to bang him. You can't do this to me. You can't do it because that. What does that make this? This makes this weird now. Thank you for the follow, Camo. The self-love, man. You know. It's just self-love, self-obsessed. I've said before I'd date myself. I wouldn't. I've seen who I am.
your problem? Not knowing things that might make me mad if I knew them. It's up.
Just let it go, bro. Be free.
So, I'm Robert. Who are you?
Thank you for the stretch.
Chad. I'm Chad.
He's Chad?
Of course.
Date him.
Hi, Chad.
My name's...
Oh, that's not me talking down to myself. I would not date myself. What I like in men is different than what I am. Sorry.
Herm. Sometimes Herman or Hermie.
She's going great, Clanthea. How you doing?
Calls me Herm, so Herm.
Herm.
My name's Victor, because I'm a fucking winner.
Alice.
Bruno.
Malevola? Your last name's Gibb?
Malevola Gibb.
My name's Colum.
Colum is a sick name.
What now? Orgy time?
Right. Make a fuego sauce and ass play sounds like a great combo.
Anybody have another packet of that stuff?
Oh, this is gonna go bad. This is going to go bad. The game's not even close to over, lovelies. This is how you build everything up and you make them love each other. Something's gonna go wrong. No! Oh! Well, Calenthion, that's sick. Oh, hello, Harloony. Hey, welcome. No, it's not fine. Things ended too nicely. There's no way they stay like we could stop the game right here, everybody. Should we stop the game and never play ever again?
Oh. Sounds like hip hop, but it's not, because then the white guitar comes in.
Wait.
The white guitar?
We can't. We have to keep going. You sure?
But this is a different song.
Hi, Boku. Hello, little kitty cat.
You're so good to me. I know that I can change. I can change. I try to tell you, but you look at me like maybe I'm an angel underneath. Innocent.
Thank you for the bonk.
Sweet, like sweet and sour sauce. Yesterday I cried. This is the lady in the song of me.
I am apparently the bottom percent.
Softer side, so soft. I back up, sing for me. I can understand how you could be so confused. I don't envy you. I'm a little bit of everything, all rolled into one. I'm a bitch. My name's Robert, such a bitch whose name is Robert. I'm a bitch. Yeah, I'm a bitch. I'm such
I hope everything.
a fucking bitch. I have no hopes. I have no dreams.
I perform better than 90% of players.
And it doesn't even function anyway, because every erectile dysfunction.
Amazing. You're good, Boku. Boku, I love seeing you here when you are here. I did better than Iron Mouse. Wait, how did Iron Mouse do? Did Iron Mouse suck at it? %. Oh, man, I had one of those, though. Aaron Paul is such a good voice actor. Legitimately. Which means he's a really good actor.
I appreciate you coming to see.
That's his name, right? Aaron Paul?
Can't believe you actually hung out with those.
can I say, you have a son now? What? Wait, what, Boku? You were pregnant? Huh? Why am I surprised? Congrats on having a child, I suppose. Wait, no, Krama. Wait, what? No, not actually baby yet. Okay, not a real baby. Not a real baby. Okay. Okay. Don't come in here being like I have a child. I mean, what am I going to assume? You're like, I have a kid now. It's the first thing I see. You know what? You got crayfish. I don't know what a craw is. I don't know what a craw is. Crocodile? Carmilla, you have children? You're going to tell me you're a teacher. What? Crazy. It is surprising how many teachers watch me. Because, like, who I am growing up and then knowing teachers watch me, I don't know. I feel like there should have been a disconnect there at some point, being like, I don't know. What were the teachers like when I was growing up? Because now that teachers watch me, right? I mean, I don't know. There's some emotion I want to describe here, and I can't understand it right now. And I think it's cool that teachers watch me. And I've always loved teachers growing up. Teachers were always some of my favorite people. But also, I could not be friends with teachers because if I was friends with a teacher, I would do horrible in their class. Yes, there are quite a few teachers in my stream. And a few psychologists. Too many psychologists. Too many psychologists. People studying or actually. Thank you for that, Pat. I must have some mental problems. All right, we're going back to the game.
What? Let me guess. You get into a bar fight? That's what criminals do at bars. They ruin everybody's fun.
Wow, that's insane.
If you're gonna make me stand next to a criminal, you could at least hurry this shit up.
If you're gonna make me stand next to Benjamin fucking Button, you could at least change his diaper.
They're studying you. That's fair. Hopefully you'll find out something before I notice it.
3 a.m. tacos leading to 4 a.m. heartburn, followed by 5 a.m. diarrhea. And despite
Dude, get some more veggies in your diet.
Lovely.
Gasp. No, actually, there's a lot of people who have kids in this stream as well, which I think is really cool.
Engaging protopols. Now.
You're working on me slowly? Good luck. I believe in you. Also, by the way, comparing me to Iron Mouse was the sweetest thing I've had happen today. Please compare me to bigger streamers all the time. Salute! Hurrah!
Alright, ready for lunch.
Roger that.
If you compare me to massive streamers, I'm gonna be like, ha-ha! Because that means you think of me in the same time. How dare you bunk me? Also, hi, Addie. Ooh, look how spooky he looks. Yeah! Yeah! Punch it up!
The smoke is a little overkill.
I thought the same too, but I think the purple is a nice touch.
What smoke?
That's fair.
Shut it down!
What smoke? They ain't supposed to be doing that. Oh no. This would be my luck, but I would panic and die. I would panic and die at this point. I would have died. Oh no, I'm dead. I would have cried. My boy! My boy! They killed my boy! They killed my boy. Me and him, I guess we have the same. Ah! Oh. Father, help! No, my boy! No. He says he's gonna do.
Welcome back.
Did you make out with me while I was asleep? Oh, hi, man. What's up? Wasn't talking about anything.
15 hours, I think.
You okay, Royd?
Can somebody put me in a coma? I want to see what it's like.
It's over, brother. I cannot recreate the astral pulse. Too much power. Too small a size.
No, baby boy, you can do it.
Can't make the man Mecca.
Oh, baby boy, you can figure it out. It's okay.
Fail you.
No, you don't fail everybody.
Almost bring down the whole team. Almost get you. Almost get everybody blown.
Minor setback. You got this. Come on.
This is just a minor setback. I'm not worried.
Yeah, long sleep for free.
But I am.
I want a little coma, a little small coma. Like.
You did your best. I can't ask for anything else.
He's so cute. He's so. But he's so sad. I actually teared up. Give me a second. I realized what I need. Give me a second. I'm okay. I wanted to talk about something. I don't know. The fact that he's like trying so hard and can't do it. Okay. Damn it. Give me Sorry for swearing. I need somebody to remind me to fix. So what I want to do, you see I'm here. I want to have me that can be in the corner here, and then have a button that teleports me to the center of the screen but larger, so that I can like be all like talking to you all while something's going on and paused, or even just like bigger here. Maybe I'll have like two bigger scenes, or maybe big here and then big here, because that way like instead of like talking from the corner all the time, I can move around a little bit. I need to put that in the stream ideas. 1 second. Drink some water. That's gonna be a no, Chief. I have done almost 1.5 gallons of water today, so. Oh no, I can definitely do it. I just need to do it. I haven't set it up yet. Okay. Hey, Katami, I'm gonna borrow your chat real quick. Don't you eyebrow raise at me. I have drank 1.5 gallons of water today. I'm not drinking more water. Thank you. I don't need more. You don't drink 1 gallon of water a day. I'm 6'4". I drink I'm gonna bite you, all of you. Come here. Just Okay. Now let me write this down. Bigger Gene game page split up stream. Well, it's not grown-up juice. I'm just drinking a Monster. Stream deck to scene. Oh, well, thank you so much for the Wadim. Perfect. 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 Ha! Okay, and all right, sorry, back to the game. Gene, are you okay? Yeah. I looked at my Discord and there was like a whole bunch of DMs and I'm like, I need to read these. I'm like, I can't read these right now. Pound my fist. Pound my fist. Hit my fist. Yeah! There we go.
I heard that big bastard.
I already got it. We're good. I mean, you can if you want, but
Somebody doing
yeah.
it next to you, you know?
Pretty distracting. Yeah.
Welcome back, Nix.
Everyone else okay? Invisigal?
This house. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
And one of us needs to be objective when it's clear something's going on between the two of you.
There ain't nothing going on between.
It's all over your stupid face. You like her. So I got a hater for both of us.
She's challenging, which requires...
I've been listening to Thought Party. I don't remember what the full band's name is. All day. And I've been listening to that song over and over and over again on loop.
Extra effort.
Seems like a lot of extra effort.
I'm not a bottom. Okay, unpin that. Unpin it.
Read that however you want.
Look, just be careful, kid. Some people, they're black holes. You reach
Thank
out to
you.
help them, and they just suck you in and do whatever the fuck black holes do. I don't know. They fuck you up.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's the black holes do. That's what they do. True facts.
Science shit, so I was with you the whole way.
Well, Zen, I can't show you on TikTok, but I'm most definitely a Switch.
All I've got to do is...
Sorry, Twitch. I can't.
Desk work doesn't land you in the infirmary. Think about that.
Mull it over.
Dang, look how scarred up he is. Aw. Dude, who's that big man?
Stick to the plan. If they're red ring or enhanced, proceed with caution. Oh, 1 sec.
Oh, thank you, Boku.
Turns out I'm completely fine. Just sort of time traveled several hours into the future where I'm pretty rested.
These hoes, depressed. He's just a guy, he got scars. I don't got that many scars.
How's the ship going?
Good. Yeah. Challenging. Made worse by all the enhanced villains we're dealing with lately. I have a whole new appreciation for you.
You think I have a type? Yes, breathing.
Sorry.
Two gay wolves and all making us sloppy styles.
A little down, but I'm sure we can come up with alternate power sources. Hey, really looking forward to tonight. Perfect timing.
Yeah, same. Wait, what are you...
What's happening tonight? Congrats on not dying.
So, I'm no dispatch dude, but I don't know if sending him a level at a sub at Sunday school was the move.
She said what? Okay, entertain the cat. How do we entertain the cat? I'm setting Waterboy and I don't know what how do you entertain a cat? What would be
Call me a bogo bitch.
This works. Yeah, I'm sure this is fine.
I need someone to wait in line for this really cool game that I'm old enough to play, and my parents said it was okay to call SDN.
What? 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 Wait, who blends in? What? Huh? What stat is blending in? Yes, I said breathing. Breathing. I didn't say breeding. You absolute perverts. Yeah, but Invisigal is resting. Okay, I guess we'll wake Invisigal up real quick. Give me a second.
Where do you need me?
All right, Invisigal, I believe in you. You got this.
All right. Sorry I'm late. What'd I miss?
Oh, good boy. No, I was paying attention.
Where the fuck were you anyway?
I was up all night trying to figure out how you settled on Flambe. The corniest hero name I've ever heard.
Hey!
Oh, big talk coming from the guy who looks like a goddamn NPC. This is
Give it hydrate.
Robert.
Taco shits. You've had taco shit since the sardine, right?
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. I had taco shits. Like
It's a tiger.
Mate, didn't you say you could handle spicy food?
It's a tiger.
Which is why this doesn't make sense as an excuse, but it's totally the truth.
Well,
Love bomb the tiger.
Nah, I'm still gonna drink it. I don't care if it tears a hole in my stomach.
Damn, we were low-key hoping you'd toss.
I was gonna scoop it out of your trash
Woo!
after you clocked out.
Find
Yes.
my groove.
Wow, wow, hello, wow, wow. Wow, wow's here. Hello, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. No, wow, you're not a pervert. It's not my fault I got bad hearing. It is your fault. What have you done to make your hearing bad? There's some ghosts that are hot, though, like... Okay. Bye-bye, Sadie. You behave yourself. Ooh.
Some asshole keeps hacking into my notes app and he's fucking with all my stand-up comedy material. Also, I think they have access to our secure servers.
He keeps messing with my stand-up. All right, here we go. What do we got? Let's take a look around here real quick. Oop. Up, up, right, up. That's gonna be hard. All right, we're gonna grab one of these. Nailed it. Okay. Up, up, down. Up, up, down. Remember, up, up, down. Oh, that's so many. Up, up, down, 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 up, up, down. Left, right, left. Up, up, down, left, right, left. Up, up, down, left, right, left. Yay! And we did it. Okay, sorry. Who did what? Oh, thank you for the bunk. Hi, Aiko. Been a bit. How you doing, lovely? I would love some hot wings, actually. I could really go for some hot wings. Ooh, that would hit so hard. Okay, Girly Pump, what are we putting you at? Let's throw in some more charisma. You deserve to be so charismatic. And let's get some... You need some intelligence, Girly Pop. Look how smart you are. You seem so clever and intelligent and gorgeous and beautiful, and you need all the compliments in the world. Hello? I don't know why. Is your memory good? No. Why? What's up, Boku?
Send your finest over to clean my abode.
Really? Really? Okay, I suppose we're...
Did Blazer hold down the fort okay?
She did the best she could. Must be a bit rusty.
She's been away from the desk too long.
I thought this was an easy job.
Well, it's not.
Gene, how is your memory that good? Oh. What do you mean my memory's that good? What are we talking about?
Make it look easy.
My memory's garbage.
You're actually cool. He's not. He's just been gone all day, so it seems like he is.
Are you actually cool? So cute.
What's it going to be this time?
I think she boosts. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm still thinking about that fucking taco.
Oh, Aiko, you're not feeling good? Oh, what's up?
Okay, were the tacos actually good or was it just 3 a.m.?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with the big guy on this one. I think it was both.
Could always go again, just to be sure.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah! Woo!
That was...
Thank you for the follow, Sammy. Look how hardcore we nailed that. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Yes. Amazing.
But there's definitely a ghost in my house.
All right.
Good at exorcisms or whatever.
What? Oh, reassure. Okay. Yeah, this is a match made in heaven. Let's go.
Have we tried talking to the ghost?
We're hosting a little roast of a mayor. An SDN guest would be great. Entertain. Okay. Okay, we need smart.
I got it.
And entertaining. So, yeah. This isn't gonna go horrible. I believe in them. They got this. Oh, shoot. We're running out of people immediately.
I got you, baby.
Don't call me baby. But thanks, dude.
Aw, look how cute. They're so cute. They're so cute. Ah. Okay. What do we have?
Coming up, and we're hosting a little roast of the mayor.
Okay, so
An SCN hero would really round out our guest list.
I'll take care of it.
Hey, Queen. Thank you so much for the follow. Greatly appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you, Samurai. Ooh. 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 Okay, we don't have a lot. Ooh, this is bad. This is bad. Rest faster. Thank you for the stretch. Ah. Anyways, I love pho. I love pho. Pho's amazing. Pho's delicious. If you've not had pho before, get it. And if you can get, have you ever had the combo platter? Where it just has all this meat, or you can get like the noodle dish and the rice dish at those places where it's not soupy, but it's just the stuff. It's so good. And they just load it with so much meat, and it's insane. And you can have all this stuff. Oh, you're fine, Galaxy. Be good, girl. Or boy. I don't know your gender. Whatever gender. You can be all the genders if you'd like to be. Anyways. I haven't been to pho for a while. I'm kind of broke right now, though, so I can't really go get pho at this moment. Come on, rest quicker, rest quicker, rest quicker, rest quicker. Hardcore resting. I believe in you. There we go.
Full-on gang war happening at the warehouse district.
Ah!
Red Ring and the Frigos.
Give me the chuck.
Shit. The Red Ring's closing in on this biker gang.
Oh, that's actually the Frigos. They're an e-biker gang. Way worse.
Oh, the what? Okay, Frigos gang is under assault. Stop the gang from escalating further.
Fucking rocks.
Okay. That's gotta be it, right?
Whoa, did you guys hear Vanderstein and his wife got divorced?
Sure did. My entire
Hmm.
portfolio is fucked.
I knew the vibes were off this morning, but I couldn't tell if it was divorce vibes or shitty commute traffic vibes.
Hey, maybe she's not going to hell after all.
Marrying someone can send you to hell.
Yeah, but only if you marry a billionaire.
True. Vibes. Vibes, chat.
I'll say it. I really feel like I don't get enough credit around here.
Okay, come on, come on, come on. Let's get some people up. Let's get some people up. LARP gone wrong? Okay.
Hotties have taken over the mayor's after party. They're holding everyone hostage on their yacht.
Thank you for the follow, Lemon Lime. Okay, okay, rescue the hostages, apprehend the Yachis before they get their ransom money.
Nothing beats the original, but this will have to do.
Hoo! Hoo! Ho! Look at that! I'm almost covering the entire board on that one. Sorry.
How'd you get an ass like that?
Hella squats, girl.
Ugh, I was afraid you'd say that.
Oh, I love this game. If I told you how much I love this game.
And another one.
No. Prism will clone other people. Golem changes his ability if there's open slots currently. Wait, the robots have gained sentience?
18, Blazer's doing a speech over the college, and one of you will be there to hear it.
All right, let's go take care of these delivery bots.
Requesting assistance. His line of delivery bots appear to have gained sentience and are attacking the city.
Okay, y'all got this apparently. Get it. And what are we doing here?
If cauliflower ear is an STD.
Roleplay as the hero that was foretold. Roleplay as the hero that was foretold. I wanna see her do. Oh wait. Oh, I need more people. We need to send more people. So I'm so distracted. Y'all, how's everybody doing today, by the way? I want to check in on everybody. How we doing? We having good vibes? Everybody feeling all right? What are we saying? No, after my charger. Go find your charger. Hurry up. Not feeling well? Oh, what's wrong, sweetie? Why aren't you feeling well? What's going on, darling? Combat. Max out that combat for me, baby girl. Okay, do we have anybody who's going to be...
Suspect is in pursuit, but we need SCN to defrost the bank.
Wait, Waterboy gets now +3 to the high stat for the call. There you go. Okay, well, I'm glad you're getting better. Oh, allergies? Definitely start taking some allergy pills.
The faction of light
Okay.
needs your help to overtake the faction of darkness. Preferably before when the park closes.
Good luck, girl. I believe in you.
It stands for live action role play, but it's not a sex thing. Okay, it's like people dressing up and playing pretend type shit.
Still sounds like a sex thing.
Get it.
Google Maps is being weird, but I'll be there.
Ooh, wait. Oh, she's too well balanced. She's too well balanced. I don't think she's gonna work with anything here. I need a pick, chat. Malevia, what do we put her on? What do we give her? Bard? Okay, we'll throw her at the Bard. She doesn't have it.
I don't know what fucking happened on that one, mate.
Sorry, girl. I just was not ready for you to... I wasn't ready for something like that, okay? Can't blame me for that one. Yes.
That was... competent.
Oh, how's the promotion stuff going, Lost? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, he's got vigor. He's got grace. He's got a smile that'll make you chase. I don't know. He's charismatic in my book. Give some more charisma. Why not? Charisma. Okay, we need some resty boys. We have 3 spots that we need to hit up. Ooh. Come on, Flambe girl. I know you got this for me. Flambe girly, no girly! Flambe!
Burned a few civvies, but, fire is hot. What do you want me to do?
Girly pop. I needed you. I needed you to be there for me. Oh, come on!
I think I'm gonna use me head.
Wait, what?
Half man, half bat, all freak.
Okay, let's see who we can get out. Recover what you can of the shipment before it's waterlogged. Okay, we need somebody with speed. Do we have anybody with speed? Wish you luck. Good luck, babies. You.
Wants them destroyed, but
Thank you for the follow. Welcome.
reprogram them.
You got this, Soul. I believe in you. I believe in you. You got this. Okay. Perfect. Shoot, we need intelligence. I have nothing for intelligence. I ain't got nobody who's smart out right now. Come on. Give me somebody. Yes! Okay. Girl. No! They're too violent! No! I made everybody violent! Help! They're too... No! The only person who can go out there at all. Where is my nerd boy when I need him? It might be. I don't know what episode this is. Shoot. Okay, wait. We're gonna see. Can I take her up an intelligence level? Wish me luck.
Gotcha.
Wish me luck. This is the best we can possibly do.
Just so you know, I'm going because I have to.
Okay, investigate the sewer reports. You two would be pretty solid for this, right?
Let me do my shit.
Okay.
Oh, what's it going to be this time?
That should be fine.
We got the snack.
I thought you said you had it.
No, that was me.
Not everyone. Oh, I'm pretty fucking beat. I'll see your dumbasses in the morning.
I've got the booze.
Come on. Yeah! Woo!
I'll bring extra towels.
We did it. Amazing. All right, how about this one? Ooh, yeah! Woo!
I'm singing.
2 for 2. All right, what do we have next? What's next?
Everybody should step back.
Come on, smash them bots. Yeah, we got this. Easy, easy, easy. Come on. One more.
Feels unfair. Almost.
Come on. Okay. I'm hoping we're not doing the best. Shoot. Okay. Diplomatic relations, kindness. Diplomatic relations, right? Why is diplomatic relations smart? No. Diplomatic relationships aren't smart. So upset, so angry. Oh, well, we got close. We did okay. I had fun. And there's a cage redeem. Thank you for all the lovely follows today, everybody. Welcome to the menagerie. I really appreciate all of you being here. Next time, I gotta replay this game and get it perfect. Don't cut yourself, baby boy. Why are you touching glass? Have you done that?
For the first time in a long time, I can see
I've done that.
without Mecha Man.
I picked up a glass shard one day and was like, I wonder if this is sharp, and ran my finger across it.
Been nice that we get to spend more time together.
And it just like deep gashed my finger and started pouring blood. It was crazy.
I think for a long time, maybe I did.
It was like one of the things like, oh, that's not bad. Ow, why'd that sting? Oh, that's a lot of blood.
Whether it's the suit exploding or just me keeling over in it as an old man, figured my story.
Doing a lot of dumb stuff.
In there. But not so much anymore. But just when I feel like I got a handle on it, got it figured out, I think about Chase and my dad and Shroud.
Cheers.
Then I get all fucked up. You know what I'm saying, Beef? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. See, this is why Appreciator talks.
All right, y'all. Oh, we're coming up close to the end of the stream today. But I have something to talk about at the end of the stream, so don't go anywhere, okay? Gosh, she's woof, 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 woof.
Are you decent?
Roof.
Definitely a house that needs some warmth.
Yeah, I told him that the last time I came. Somehow it looked worse.
I am in my underwear.
Yeah, I can see you. I was joking when I asked if you're decent.
I know. I just need you to know.
I almost never wear pants. I hate pants.
That rubs out, by the way. You just have to put a little muscle into it. Do you know where you want to hang this?
Why are you holding a lamp?
I think he's only considered where he'd hang himself. Seems fine. It's a housewarming gift. Your housewarming party, Robert. I told people to bring a lamp or something.
Wait, people? More people are coming here? To my home. Look, I'm not really in a party mood right now.
Not what it looks like to me with you.
I've always wanted a housewarming party.
Okay, she just touched my...
This is your family photo area?
She can do it again. She can do it again. I mean, what?
Which I'm kind of into.
Is that my work computer?
We figured it out, brother. The man can be Mecha again.
After your little premature Jack explosion, I had this feeling like I'd seen it before.
Then Vizzy asked me to get the energy reading we got this morning and cross-reference
Hey!
calls.
Wait. It's
Hey.
destroyed?
Ooh, thank you so much for the
A bunch
redeem.
of B-grade villains were trying to unlock its power only to end up blowing their asses off like you did. Then they sell it on the next sucker and the same shit. It's passed hands at least 4 times that we've tracked.
How does Shroud not know this?
Yeah, probably think like us. Think it was destroyed. But he's a smart fucker, and he gonna figure it out soon enough.
That's why we get to it first.
Which is why
I've always wanted to have a, yeah.
There's no every low-level super.
Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the
Track its
menagerie.
location. They'll know who has it.
Yeah.
Kick in some doors, knock some heads, snatch that shit back, and you'll be pulsing or whatever.
Oh, I would love some carne asada fries.
Regardless of how this plays out. Thank you.
Also, Katamia, you can't claim them. They're mine.
You know, I can't remember the last time someone did something.
I'm the streamer.
Get gushy after we find the shit.
So, one of the last pings that we got was from a boat over here in Marina.
They're all mine.
Why, she's her first.
How does she connect the light?
Old money crew of ascot wearing cokeheads. Skylar Arcadia runs it now. 3 generations that family's been trying to finger me.
What are they accusing you of?
You're cute.
We're gonna ask you some questions about a piece of tech they moved.
Woof, 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 woof. I mean, what?
Yep, right on that.
Why'd you move, Robert? She is ooh. Everything. So Roy though. Roy also. Why'd everybody bring a lamp? Everybody brought a lamp. Everybody brought a lamp. Bring a lamp or something, not bring a... Woof. What? Yeah, but you're right. You see the... Ooh. I know, right? One chance. Just reject me already. Why is she there? Oh, Prism girl. She just needs a better costume. I mean, I too would get dog walked, thank you. No, we're not doing that one. She needs to not have shoulder pads.
You do understand how projectors work, right?
She just drew on the wall.
And bare walls are something.
Aye.
Why is it always a warehouse by the docks?
Stuff comes in and stuff goes out.
Valid.
Not a rocket scientist, are you?
No.
That was one of the primary locations in the story I wrote.
Security are dealing with.
That's where it gets tricky.
Shit.
That's more than shit. You need a fucking army.
I'll go. Can't shoot what you can't see.
Look, this is really great work, but doing this tonight is out of the question.
Yeah.
A secure location like this is something they would handle downtown.
Are you kidding? There's enough firepower in this room to take down a fucking kaiju.
I need to completely rewrite my book.
Y'all wouldn't make it past the front door.
No one's asking you to do it.
Boy.
Hey, no need for that. We take the day to plan it with downtown and hit the warehouse tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? This thing's not gonna sit still for that long. If we don't grab it, someone else will.
We need to play.
Incredible, Viz, but Blazer's right. We make a plan. No need to rush this.
There's no guarantee it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, and you might die if we send you tonight.
You understand that word, or has it got too many fucking syllables for you?
Why don't you go walk your ass around a mall, Grandpa? Heroes are talking.
You are no fucking hero.
Whoa, hey!
She named you Invisigal, you named yourself Invisibitch, and you had it fucking right.
Chase, you're drunk. You need to stop talking.
You want to get people hurt? Get people fucking killed, then you need to go back to the team where you belong.
Hey, everybody just calm down.
This is crazy.
She thinks she's like you, but she's not. Robert doesn't need to keep going out there with no powers, putting his life on the line to make up for assholes like you. He doesn't need to be Mecha Man to be a hero.
Chase, please.
Oh. Oh! Chase! 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 We didn't tell them that. We didn't tell them that. Now I regret not telling them. Oh, come on, Chase. Oh, I told you it was going too well. We had the perfect conversation. We did everything amazingly. Everything was perfect. Oh, that little shit is right.
Mecha Man?
You playing them, you playing yourself. You think you're invisible, but I fucking see you.
Chase!
Criminal. I know you're fucking dangerous. What else do I need to know? There. Now I know you're a coward.
Deserved. Deserved.
Oh my god. Busy! Wait!
That was a nice uppercut. That bitch sent his ass airborne. How are you not dead?
So.
We doing shots now or what?
Chase already had his.
Whatever just happened. Anyone who utters one word about what happened tonight fucking answers to me. Got it?
His eyebrows are back.
Like the frogs from that thing, you know?
Aw, Flimpe. Why are you late to the party? He came to the party and he was all cute and he didn't get us. He didn't get he missed the.
There, that's the red zone.
He didn't get to come to the party.
Back to apologize. All these goddamn apartments look the same. That guy watching us from the balcony walked into his house thinking it was yours. Sorry about that. Fuck you.
He said he was sorry.
Well, fuck you too.
Stop licking that's bad for the dog. That's bad for anybody. Don't lick salt lamps. Don't chew on the salt lamp beef.
You sure this ain't vodka?
Thank you for the head pats.
Made quite a first impression. Didn't know you were into spitting in people's mouths. Kinky shit. It's that internet somehow made sex born.
Okay, you sound how you look.
Another thing I can't do anymore. Fuck. Maybe it's why I say the word so much.
Sorry, Chase. I hadn't thought about that.
I had a pretty good run. You ever think about why we do what we do? Help people. Put it all on the line for someone who won't ever know your name, won't send you a thank you card, won't be at your bedside when you get hurt.
Makes me feel good.
Just makes me feel good, I guess.
You ever worry that a bunch of former villains actually get that same juice from the opposite, from hurting people?
Thank you for the lurk.
That first week, Busy was gonna walk off the team. You know, she's feeling low, talking about how she was born with powers that always meant she'd end up as a villain. Like it was fated.
Yeah. I remember that.
Obviously, I gave her the pep talk, you know. Like, that's all bullshit. You make up your own fate, yada yada. I don't even remember what I said, but I do remember thinking,
This is Dispatch.
fuck. Yeah, that must have been hard. Like, if I didn't have you, you know.
You ever think about
my
that?
Dad, where would I have ended up?
You were always good. That was always in you. That's what makes us different from a thief like her.
Honey.
Oh, come on. You've stolen things, too.
What?
I steal things now.
I never stole a fucking thing in my entire fucking life.
Chase, you've literally stolen things from me.
Oh, yeah, but that doesn't count. That was for somebody else.
What, you quietly contemplating?
Yeah, I guess I hadn't considered something.
You racist motherfucker.
But I think the answers are out there if you just listen to the wind.
I see why you and Beef get along.
Oh, where's my guy? Oh, I'm sorry, my poor boy. That's it. There's my boy. There's my good boy. Who's a good boy? Beef is.
Every time you say honey, I think you mean me. And I get so scared.
You're fine, sweetie.
Is there a mic on this? Hey. Hey, can you hear me? The fuck are you doing?
Oh, not much. Just looking for your stupid-ass pulse that's somewhere on this big-ass boat. This one must have dropped a pin in the supervillain group chat, because this place is crawling with dipshits. Good news is, they don't know where it is either.
You know who's not good, Beefy boy? You know who's a real pain?
Fizzy?
Get out of there now.
Look, you're disappointed, I'm disappointed. I'm sure Chase will have some shit to talk, but I'm here, and this is our last chance of getting this thing.
Okay, maybe if I can hack it.
We're going to call it there. We're going to call it there and leave it on the cliffhanger. Yep, that's right, lovelies. It has hit the 2-hour mark. Yep. We'll have to come back. I know it's getting exciting, right? Oh, it's definitely going to happen with books and everything else. Nope. I have stuff I got to do. I got to make a TikTok. Oh no! I was gonna ask about like should I be posting? No, I do not have 15 minutes. It's 2:03. It's been 2 hours and 3 minutes. We're over that. So, so one of the things I was wondering if I should make a TikTok telling people that I stream, because apparently people don't realize I have a stream, which is crazy to me. I have 1 hour. I do not have an hour. I have stuff to do. I have to go stream. I have to go to my. Don't bug me. So yeah, I'll probably make a TikTok tonight. I guess it makes sense. Thank you, Paddles. Telling people that I stream, because apparently some people don't know, which is stupid to me. So, other things I have to do. I have to do laundry tonight. Yeah, actually, no, I'm about to go stream now. I'll see y'all later. I was gonna say I have something else going on, but anyways, I've decided this week is gonna be an amazing week. Okay, y'all. We are going to do some evening book reading streams. Not today. I'll tell you all before I do them. But yes, and yeah, I keep doing a little bit of laundry each time, okay? And then I had to rewash my laundry. And I'm also going to try to get a bunch of other stuff done for for like sponsorships and stuff. So hopefully by the end of this week, we're going to have some amazing news. Oh, and the big collab. I'm going to be doing a collab with Goblin Fia, who's a partner streamer. Moo, who's been here before and who's also a partner streamer. And Magical John, who I'm not sure if they're a partner streamer, but I know they're very cool. And I'm trying to see if I can get Trippy Hendrickson as well, who is also who was actually one of the, they won an award for a hidden gem streamer, VTuber. So they're very, very cool. I'm not sure that if they're interested in joining in, but all the other ones we already have down, and we're going to be playing this party game. Or if the party game sucks, we're going to be doing that game where you yell at spells to cast them. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. If that game is fun, I might do like a community night playing that game as well. But yes, Mage Arena, that's the game. I think it'd be a lot of fun to play with other people. We might do some more community night stuff, which are going to be games like that. I want to do more, you know, stuff where we don't have to like sit down and work together, but we can play against each other kind of thing. And people can drop in and pop out, that kind of stuff. Yes. But yeah, they should be really cool, and I'm excited to introduce them all, or you to all of them, because yeah, you all are amazing, and they're all amazing. So yes, let's see if we can find somebody to raid into. What kind of vibes are we feeling tonight? Anybody have any sort of vibes? How many people are here right now? What do we got? 66. Thank you, Gabe's Plan. You want to raid into Cha-Cha? Let's go raid to Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha, your V-Mom. I love Cha-Cha. All right. Here, we're going to do little hearts. This person is absolutely fantastic. We haven't seen them before. They've worked with a lot of really cool VTubers. We're gonna do a little lucky raid. Actually, how about we do a hi. Here's gonna be the right message. Just gonna say hi, Cha-Cha. Okay, you ready? Y'all lovely. Can you copy that raid message for me, and we'll send you over there, and you can be the best, sweetest, most amazing people I know you all are. Mwah. Who won? Oh, Gabe won. Gabe, you get a free sub. Congratulations. Enjoy your free sub. All right, y'all be amazing. I appreciate y'all so very, very much. Say hi for me. Bye, lovelies. Mwah.